words matter. The judge's job is to follow the words that are in the law, not replace them with those that aren't.
There is a statement which you made in that book, which has been often quoted, and I want to make sure that I quote it accurately here today. It relates to the taking of life. And I quote, "The intentional taking of human life by private persons is always wrong." That was a statement that you included in your book, correct?
I believe so.
I believe so, too. How could you square that statement with legal abortion?
Senator, as the book explains, the Supreme Court of the United States has held in Roe versus Wade that a fetus is not a person for purposes of the 14th Amendment. And the book explains that.
Do you accept that?
That's the law of the land. I accept the law of the land, Senator, yes.
Thank you for that clarification.
The unborn person doesn't have constitutional rights.
A fetus is not a person for purposes of the 14th Amendment.
All right, Pastor Jason Cooley here with OPBC Online. This is going to be a special type of a report here, and I'm going to call this the Trumped Chronicles, because I hate to say that I told you so, but I really did tell you so. We tried to tell you that nothing was going to change pretty much with Trump, that things were going to all kind of be the same, and that it was going to be a mess. Now, this first Trumped Chronicle, I'm going to do a couple of them today here, and we're going to record them and put them online here for you. But this first one I want to deal with is the intro video that you just saw, okay? You just saw coming in Neil Gorsuch, the Supreme Court nominee that Trump chose. And listen to what the article says, but listen to what he said. I mean, think about what this man said. During his second day of questioning for his Senate confirmation hearing, Trump's U.S. Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch said that he accepts Roe v. Wade as the law of the land, and its opinion that a fetus is not a person. Okay, stop there for a second. Let me ask you, who believes that? Really? A fetus is not a person. Now, you remember when we talked about Donald Trump, the Trump psyop, and all those other things, when Donald Trump was supposed to be voted for by all the conservative Christians because he was going to overturn Roe v. Wade, or he was going to get the Supreme Court for us and going to get people on there that would, make abortion illegal again and all these other things. Well, what happened? Nothing. What's his nominee say? Hey, that's law. You just live with it, right? That's the law. You just live with it. This reminds me of George W. Bush when he put in his John Roberts there, the Supreme Court Justice there, Roberts, and he voted in Obamacare. Are you not catching a pattern here? You got trumped. Okay, that's what happened. You got trumped. Okay, so on Wednesday, Senator Dick Durbin asked Gorsuch about a sentence in his book, The Future of Assisted Suicide and Euthanasia, in which he concluded that all human beings are intrinsically valuable, and the intentional taking of human life by private persons is always wrong. Okay, stop. That sounds great, doesn't it? That sounds absolutely wonderful. I mean, that's great. That is wonderful news that he would say something like that. I'm excited about that. That's a blessing. Oh, but wait. He didn't stop there. What happened? He kept going. What did he keep going with? What did he say? Well, as you heard, how could you square that statement with legal abortion? Durbin inquired. Gorsuch, currently a judge with the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, posited that abortion is different because the unborn are not legally recognized as people. Senator, as the book explains, he said, the Supreme Court of the United States has held in Roe v. Wade that a fetus is not a person for purposes of the 14th Amendment.
A fetus is not a person for purposes of the 14th Amendment.
And that book explains that, Gorsuch replied. Do you accept that, Durbin asked. That's the law of the land. I accept the law of the land, Senator. Yes, Gorsuch answered firmly. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that wonderful? He just told you that a baby is not a person. So why again do we care that the Republican Party is pro-life? Why again do we care about that when they don't do anything about it? When that guy just told you, he just told you, well, that's not even a real person. I accept the court's definition. That's not a real person. I don't accept the court's definition. That's not a real person. But he does. And that's Trump's nominee, and that's why you got trumped. That's the reason why. As previously reported on Tuesday, Gorsuch told Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley that he believes Roe v. Wade is precedent and has been repeatedly reaffirmed, and that a good judge should treat it accordingly. I think the case most people are thinking about right now, and the case that every nominee gets asked about, is Roe v. Wade. Can you tell me whether Roe was decided correctly? Grassley asked. Senator, I would tell you that Roe v. Wade, decided in 1973, is the precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It has been reaffirmed. Gorsuch replied emphatically, the reliance, interest, considerations are important there, and all the other factors that go into analyzing precedent have to be considered. It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. It was reaffirmed in Casey in 1992 and in several other cases, he repeated. So a good judge will consider it as the precedent of the United States Supreme Court, worthy as treatment of precedent like any other. When asked by Senator Dianne Feinstein to expound on his views regarding precedent, he explained that once a case is settled, that adds to the determinacy of the law. What was once a hotly contested issue is no longer a hotly contested issue. We move forward, Gorsuch said. Isn't that wonderful? Feinstein then inquired if he considered Roe v. Wade to be super precedent, meaning that it is so ingrained in the legal system that it would be significantly difficult to overturn. It has been reaffirmed 44 times, I can say that, Gorsuch, known for ruling in favor of the popular craft chain Hobby Lobby, replied. While some have stated that Gorsuch had to answer in such a manner in order to be confirmed, 2016 America's Party presidential candidate Tom Hoefling wrote on social media on Thursday that those who claim the name of Christ should proclaim truth no matter what the cost. That's right, they should. Absolutely, he's right about that. I'm not supporting that man. I'm just telling you that he's right about what he said. Here's the point, friend. Here's this guy that Trump puts up, and you were told you must vote for Trump. You must vote Republican. You must vote for the Supreme Court. We need to take the Supreme Court. Why? Because we wouldn't have Obamacare? We had it anyway. The head justice of the Supreme Court voted, and he was a Bush nominee. Listen, they're two wings of the same bird. You got trumped. You got told that something was going to be different when it wasn't. And you got warned, as Donald Trump said there was good things about Planned Parenthood. I reported on all that stuff. Donald Trump said there was good things about Planned Parenthood, all those other things. Look, this nominee is a joke, okay? This whole situation is a big joke. It's sad. He says, well, it's already decided law. Now, many Christians stated that their primary reason for voting for Trump as president was because they believed he would appoint justices that would overturn Roe v. Wade. Some had remarked that they desired a judge similar to the late Anton Scalia. Scalia, however, noted during his tenure that he opposed both the complete abolition of abortion as well as requiring legalization. He said the Constitution does not require a state to ban abortion, as he believes the 14th Amendment only applies to those who have been born. Now, he's a Catholic, okay? I don't agree with any of those guys, okay? I think that they are all wicked as hell, Okay? So all these Supreme Court justice heroes that they had and everything else, when you find out at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you put in. It's not going to matter. Okay? They're going to do what they want to do. Trump is no different. He's not some outsider that was going to come in and everything was going to be changed. Everything was going to be different and everything was going to be better with Trump. Look at his nominee. Look what he said. He said a fetus is not a person. That's what he said. Plain and simple. So in other words, sadly, you got Trump.